everyone. Okay, the heat just went on. I'm so sorry about that. It is so cold. I'm in Savannah right now because I'm visiting my boyfriend, and there's a snowstorm that's about to happen. I hope that you enjoy this video. And just a disclaimer, all of these perfume oils were purchased by me or by my boyfriend because I'm reviewing his colognes as well. Yeah, none of this was given to me, so all of my reviews are entirely honest. If you like this video, please subscribe. But for now, let's get into the Oil Perfumery review. Okay, so just in terms of structure of this video, I plan to go over the women's fragrances in the beginning, and then unisex in the middle, and then the men's colognes at the end, because my boyfriend also has a lot of Oil Perfumery dupes, and I want to go over them, but I'll save them for the end just to organize the video a little bit. The first fragrance that I have to review is Baccarat Rouge 540. It's a pretty popular fragrance. The notes are saffron, jasmine as the top notes, amberwood, ambergris, heticone, fir resin, cedar, sugar, ambroxan, and oak moss. To me, this has always smelled like brown sugar plus heavy ambroxan notes, and I would say that the Baccarat Rouge 540 dupe from Oil Perfumery is pretty accurate to the original. I actually have two here because my boyfriend actually bought this in high school, so it's pretty used up, but I just want to finish it before I use the new one. I liked it so much though that I got a second one. So if that doesn't tell you what I think about this perfume, I don't know what will. Basically, I think it's a pretty accurate dupe. I do think it's a little sweeter than the actual parfum, but I think that if you are looking for a pretty accurate depiction of what Baccarat Rouge 540 gives, this is pretty accurate. I would say that the projection is also quite good. It's nowhere near the perfume, but it's pretty long lasting. I'd say that it lasts on my skin for 6 hours, and on my clothes for even longer. It depends on the material of the clothing. I've never analyzed which material it lasts longer on, I'm sorry, but I really like this dupe, and I think it smells pretty similar, slightly sweeter, slightly more brown sugar. The next fragrance that I have is Meliora by Parfums de Marly. Parfums de Marly, I don't know, whatever. But I've smelled this in person, and I remember loving it in person. I really fell in love with Parfums de Marly Meliora and Parfums de Marly Safenade, because Safenade was so heavy jasmine, and both of them were very juicy. I think that's something that Parfums de Marly just gets spot on, is the juice in their fragrance. Even Delina, it's the most popular one from Parfums de Marly. I think everyone loves that just because it's so sweet and floral and juicy. And I just felt like Meliora was the same juiciness, but a different type of floral, which is why I got the dupe of it from Oil Perfumery. And what do I think of the dupe? I don't think it smells exactly like the original, unfortunately. I really wish it did. I don't think it does, but it does give a different kind of juiciness. It honestly kind of smells like expensive soap. I'm not gonna lie. I think that they definitely nail the black currant and the red berries in the top note, but in terms of the middle notes having ylang ylang, I don't get that at all. I could get rose and lily of the valley. I don't get much musk. I do think that the Meliora original from Parfums de Marly, you can definitely smell the lasting musk and vanilla in the base notes. So I don't think this is spot on. I do still like it. I think it's still a great fragrance, but I wouldn't say it's a great dupe. So if you're looking for an exact dupe of Meliora, probably don't go for Oil Perfumery's version. Next, we are doing Bal d'Afrique from Byredo. I actually have not smelled this in person. I got this because a creator that I really like, I don't remember her name, but she has blonde hair and she does really, really in-depth reviews of makeup product and hair product. I really trust what she says. She said that Bal d'Afrique was one of her most complimented fragrances, and I heard that and I was like, oh my gosh, let me look up the notes. And honestly, the notes didn't appeal to me that much. She said that it smelled like a fresh spring day. I can kind of see that because it has heavy citrus notes in it, which I'm not a huge fan of. I don't have any other citrus notes in my fragrance collection. So that was probably an indication to me that I maybe shouldn't get it, but I just wanted to try it, and I wanted to try something that I didn't have before nor smelled. So Baldafreak's original notes are lemon, marigold, blackcurrant, bergamot, African orange flower. You definitely get the bergamot and the African orange flower as well as lemon in the opening notes. I wouldn't say that you get much blackcurrant because it doesn't really give this sort of sour juiciness that Meliora did. I don't think that this one has too much depth. I would say that in the middle notes and the base notes, you can kind of smell the amber and the jasmine. It does like die down a bit in the middle notes to smell the jasmine, but I don't think this is probably an accurate depiction of the scent. Like I said, I haven't smelled this in person, unfortunately, so I can't really give an accurate depiction of whether or not it smells like the original. However, I do think it still smells good if you like citrus spring fragrances. I just don't know if it smells like the original, and I'm not sure I would repurchase it personally. That's my 2 cents. Let's move on to the next one. We're sort of moving on to the unisex fragrances now. So I have another 13 by Labo here. This is another one where I haven't smelled it in person, so I can't give you an accurate opinion of whether or not it smells like the original. I'm so sorry. I just wanted to do like a blind buy, and these weren't so expensive. They're all around like $11 to $15 to $18. So I'm really not sure if this smells like the original. I personally really do like this fragrance, and I would say that just from looking at the original notes of the fragrance, I do think you get heavy citrus notes in the top note, and it definitely dries down to like a jasmine-y musk, which I really like. And I said in the last review of Baldafreak, that I'm not sure if I love the citrus scents. I prefer this citrus scent over Baldafreak, at least in terms of the Oil Perfumery dupes. I would probably wear this over Baldafreak in the spring, but I'm not trying to bash Oil Perfumery's dupe of Baldafreak. I'm not sure if I personally like it for my taste. As I said in the beginning, I think fragrance, as we'd all agree, is very personal, so it's up to you. I'm sorry that I can't say if it smells like the original, but I think it's a great fragrance if you are looking for like a citrusy, musky scent. Next, I'm gonna do Santal 33 from Labo, just sticking on that Labo train. So I think that this smells pretty similar to the original. I have smelled Santal 33 in stores. I don't have it in my collection because it's quite expensive. But the only thing I'd say is the difference is the sweetness. And so actually my boyfriend keeps this one in his collection. He loves fragrances just as much as me, if not more than me, and he would also agree that it's just slightly more sweet than the original Santal 33, but it's still great. I love smelling it on my boyfriend, and I love smelling it on me too. I think that it's a great spring summer scent, and even in the winter you could wear it. It just might smell a little out of place, but you still smell good. So you definitely get sandalwood, you get a little bit of leather, you also do get the spice of cardamom a bit, but it's pretty masked by the sweetness in here, which might be the violet, iris, and amber. I know amber is pretty sweet, so it could be that. It is slightly sweeter than the original, like I've been saying, but it's still a great dupe, and I would say that if you're in the market for a cheaper Santal 33, Oil Perfumery is a great place to start. Okay, let's do Replica Jazz Club. So this I have smelled in person, and I really do like it. I do think that they really nailed a jazz club scene in your head. When you smell this, it smells like tobacco, sweetness, booziness. It smells like you're sitting in a jazz club, and that's kind of cool. I think, once again, this is slightly sweeter than the original Jazz Club, which, if you don't mind that, that's great. I think this smells great on my boyfriend. Again, this is his oil. He actually just gave it to me though, so I'm gonna be wearing it more now. It definitely nails the tobacco still. I think in the original, you can definitely get the tobacco, rum, vanilla bean notes the most. Correct me if I'm wrong for those who have smelled it in person, but that's just what I get. And I think that you could still get the same vibe in the oil for sure. Yeah, you can definitely smell the booziness mixed with the tobacco leaf and vanilla bean. And I think it smells great and pretty similar to the original actually. So if you're looking for a great dupe, go buy the Replica Jazz Club. I am reviewing Replicas by the Fireplace, and just a disclaimer about this one, this is my boyfriend's old one, so I believe he got this in college, and as a result, it's a bit old because we are no longer in college. That being said, it still smells delicious. I think the only thing is, just like the Baccarat Rouge 540, it has soured a bit, so maybe use up your oil perfumeries within like 2 or 3 years, because they do sour a bit, but when you wear them on your skin, they still smell good. Anyways, just getting into this review, I actually don't like Replicas by the Fireplace that much as a scent. I've smelled it many times in person, and I would say that, again, we're following the thread of the Oil Perfumery dupe is slightly sweeter than the original by the Fireplace, but it is pretty similar to the original. So I would say that you definitely get the cloves and the pink pepper in the top note, as well as the orange blossom. So it's pretty similar to that portrayal of it in the top notes. In terms of the middle notes, it definitely gives chestnut. And then the base notes, it also definitely has some sort of balsam, sappy, woody note, as well as vanilla. So I think that this is a pretty great dupe. I would say it smells pretty similar to what I've smelled in the store, as well as like letting it sit on me. Okay, next, we only have the male fragrances left over, but obviously you could wear whatever fragrance you want. So my boyfriend has this in his collection that he's had for quite a long time, but it's still to this day like one of my favorite fragrances that he wears. He has Tobacco Vanille from Tom Ford in the Oil Perfumery dupe, and I love when he wears this. I just smells really great on him. It smells like what I wish By the Fireplace smelled like. It just smells like a mix of By the Fireplace, Jazz Club, and like a comforting vanilla scent. I don't know, it smells like the holidays for me. I'm not a huge fan of vanilla, honestly, but this during the holidays, top-notch scent, I will say. He has smelled Tobacco Vanille a lot in stores. I think I've only smelled it once or twice. I personally am not too sure of whether or not it smells like the original perfume, but he says that's a pretty accurate dupe. And even if it's not an accurate dupe, it's a delicious fragrance. I love when he wears it, and I've worn it before too, and I love when I wear it. I think it's a great fragrance. I think that if you're looking for a dupe for Tobacco Vanille, definitely try out the Oil Perfumery one. Next, we have Layton from Parfums de Marly. This is a scent I loved, and honestly I think that they nailed this. I think the only thing is that it's, again, a little bit sweeter than the original, but I like the sweetness. Yeah, it just smells so good. It smells like the perfect sappy balsam candle. That's how I would describe it, at least. Also, I think the projection for Oil Perfumery's Layton is pretty good. I'd say that if you're standing like 3 feet again from a person, you'd be able to smell them. And it definitely lasts on clothes a long time. All of these Oil Perfumery dupes last a long time on clothes. Like, even if they're not lasting that long on your hand, which some of them do just last a long time on skin, they will last a long time on your clothes. I have Oud Wood from Tom Ford. Okay, this one, I don't love the scent. I don't love oud, to be honest. I think it smells okay, but I'm just not a big fan of most oud fragrances. In fact, I haven't found one that I like at all. I do think it smells pretty accurate to the original Oud Wood from Tom Ford because I have smelled it in person. That being said, it's not mine, it's my boyfriend's, so I didn't choose to get it. But I do think that just based off smelling it in person, the original in person, as well as the Oil Perfumery, I do think they smell similar. If you want a dupe, invest in the Oil Perfumery one, and maybe you don't need to buy the Tom Ford one. Last but not least, I have Green Irish Tweed from Creed in the Oil Perfumery form. This is one that both my boyfriend nor I had smelled in person, but I actually really like it. It smells, again, kind of like expensive men's soap. It has that sort of like spiciness that a lot of these like male colognes have. I think it smells great. It definitely gives a little bit of citrus in the top note, and then it sort of has this undertone of spiciness and sexiness in the back. I think the projection on that one is pretty great too. It also lasts a really long time on clothes and skin because it is such a strong fragrance. Those are all of the Oil Perfumery dupes that I own. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 12 Oil Perfumery dupes. Actually, my boyfriend and I combined have 12 Oil Perfumery dupes. And I know that I really like watching these videos because I think Oil Perfumery is a great way to spend money, but not so much money on fragrances, because some of these perfumes and colognes are just so expensive. It's a great way to try out a fragrance before you invest in the real thing. And yeah, a lot of these fragrances I would definitely rebuy instead of the original, because the original is probably just way too expensive. But yeah, those were all the Oil Perfumery dupes I have. Hopefully this was helpful. Again, if you like this video, please subscribe, and I'm going to try to post way more consistently in 2025. So look forward to that, and I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.